good. Yeah, hi guys. Yeah, my name's Kieran. This is the first time I've actually appeared on camera to talk about the virus and yeah, all things virus and flat Earth. It's yeah, my channel's dedicated to flat Earth. It's I sort of I woke up in 2017 to flat Earth. Yeah, sort of. I'm a little bit puzzled that people still, I can understand some people are still not going to get. It hasn't been. They haven't been made aware. They haven't actually seen it, heard of it, or seen it, which is, that's fair enough because we're all brainwashed. But you know, they're a lot of content makers are being censored, and they're doing that. They're trying to stop the word getting out, because one of the first things I realised, and I think most critically thinking people, most critically minded people do, that they can think, they can walk and chew gum at the same time. They realise that that we don't live on a magical spinning space ball. It's water doesn't conform to the outside of a ball, and gravity doesn't really cut it, because gravity doesn't hold up to the scientific method. It can't be demonstrated, can't be repeated, can't be observed, and it can't be measured. All the things that you need to do in order for it to sort of qualify as science. So you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, they've sold humanity they've sold humanity a car with no engine. You don't have to be a mechanic to know the fucking car's not going to go. But anyway, so for a number of years now, people are yeah, for a while, yeah, no, we've been a lot of people trying to get the word out, trying to let humanity be aware that we've been misled and lied to. Within within possibly the first, I'm trying to remember now, it was maybe like the first, I don't know, maybe first couple of hours, I sort of realised, right, well, they're all singing from the same hymn book. They're all governments are, they're all in accordance with each other, because because when they're all yeah, like when they're all fighting, when they're in wars and whatever, you think one of them would sort of let the cat out of the bag. But now, since since the virus, which is I'm not laughing at the situation of the virus. I'm laughing at the fact that people are scared to death that you can catch this fucking thing, and you can't. You can't catch a virus. Viruses, in any given time, you've got 300 trillion or more virus in your body. Viruses are part of your body's immune system. It's part of a healthy immune system. If you didn't have viruses, we'd be in a lot of trouble. So you need it. But your viruses are your viruses. You can't catch it off anybody else. The only way you'll get a virus in your body that shouldn't be there, and that's if you have it injected into you in the form of a vaccine. And people are going to be clambering over themselves to get vaccines, and yeah, and it's 5G, it's 5G related. A lot of this stuff can't, it's getting quite obvious that fucking, you'd think in a pandemic, or what we're led to believe, people should be dropping dead, but they're not. Nobody's dropping dead, and then they're all clapping like seals when for all the people in the front line at the hospitals. It's like, fucking, are you kidding me? Like, you fucking, what do they call it? Stolen valor in America. They'd go they'd give people heaps of shit for fucking pretending that they're, that they're being soldiers, and these people are, they're on the front line, but they're doing choreographed dancing moves in hospitals, and it's like, and all these gingers, there's no one scratching their head. Well, there's no one actually, there's no one dying. It's like, fucking wake up, people, for fuck's sake. And that's the thing, like, the people who can think for themselves, they're critical thinkers, and they understand that we're being run by criminals. They are criminals. They're absolute criminals. They're by, the child sex trafficking. All this. It's like, you can't tell me that they don't all know that they're doing. They don't all know that they're doing this. It's beyond belief to think that that they're not all doing this. And why are they doing this? Well, they're doing it. They're doing it for control. Possibly there could be more land. But I'll tell you one thing: if you believe the heliocentric lie, just so we're really crystal clear, you believe that you live on a ball that's spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, and water conforms to the outside of it in a vacuum. So you'd be hard pressed to find a in your everyday objective reality to find a vacuum existing next to a pressurized system like our weather system without it dissipating off into fucking what we call is outer space. It's like fucking it's just, and they sold it to you, man. They got away with it. They got away with it for a long time, and they're still getting away with it because you got fucking idiots who believe it, and it's still. No, we live on no, you don't live on a magical spinning ball, you fucking clowns. I'm really, and people saying, no, you got to be compassionate with them, and if you've never heard of it, and that's fine. But when you get people who are trolling, it's like they're window lickers. They got no fucking idea. And then you get people like, the elections are coming up for in America, and it's they're playing everyone like a fucking piano. It's like, see, the middle class is getting wiped out. Like, everyone stays at home. The service industry, which is pretty much the main industry in America, that's because they haven't got a manufacturing base, because that's gone long ago, And so while all this is happening, while everyone's locked at home, scared of a virus that they can't get, on this magical spinning fucking space ball, everyone's sitting at home worried about that. And then when they do open, they're only allowed to have so many people in their restaurant for fear that this the virus will spread from person to person. And it's like, and people most people know that something's not right, but it's pretty staggering what they've done. And so it almost seems to me like they're trying to let people know, they're trying. It's like, because it's really pretty obvious, when you start looking. It's pretty fucking obvious that there's a man called Dr. Andrew Kaufman. He's been putting a fair bit out online. There's some other doctors as well that explain about the fallacious. The fallacious logic behind germ theory. I think it's Koch's 4 postulates that need to be met in order for a disease to be what's it called? For a disease to be a contagious disease, whatever it is. I can't quite remember. But it's got 4 postulates Koch's 4 postulates that need to be met. And a virus doesn't meet them, funnily enough, because a virus doesn't have any DNA. It has RNA. Now, I'm eminently qualified to talk to this, It's because I'm a bricklayer, you know. And it took me all of like 45 minutes maybe to actually sit there and listen to a man, you know, that put his career at risk and probably a lot more, probably his life at risk, you know, to tell, you know, just to fucking tell it how it is, to tell the truth. And it's like, I don't want people to believe anything that they're not, you know, they're not good with. All I want people to realize is the truth, you know. And in a society, you know, like in a free and open society, truth is paramount. That's the most precious thing we can have is truth, and it's not to be, and it shouldn't be held by just like the elect few, like secret societies. There's no room for secret societies in a in a civilization like ours. What we're told, and you know, Freemasons. Now, the Freemasons, for any secret society, the Jesuits, whoever, but the Freemasons, because at the very least, what happens, it could like, and many people have, their grandfather or their father or their brother or whoever, their uncles are in the fraternity, and it's at the very least, what happens, people get by and get into positions, not on their merit. They get, and some, it might not really matter one way or the other, but even if it may not seem like it matters, like if you get a position that doesn't, that you don't get on your merits, it means somebody else is missing that position, and they could have got that on their merits, but you get it because, yeah, because you know someone, basically. This is what gangsters do. This is Godfather stuff, 101. I know someone who's telling me they knew a tattooist who was a Freemason, and they were really surprised and said, "Hey, puts it on his bike so the cops don't pull him over." And that also tells like all the positions of power, they've got these people in there, and a lot of very decent people in I won't say in politics, because I don't believe there is any, to be honest. I really don't. But in some of the positions of power, maybe in the education system and in the army and the police force and their higher ups, and these people have got to, it's detestable and it's despicable, and they get away with crimes. They get away with crimes, and it's like it's a very, very deep rabbit hole. But what the immediate thing is at the moment is to see, and if enough people realise that we don't live on a magical spinning space ball, if it's impossible for water to conform to the outside of a spinning space ball, there's a reason why it doesn't feel like you're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, and there's a reason why one of the first things they tell you when you're 5 years old is that you live on a spinning space ball, is to not trust your senses and to trust what they're telling you. And it's just and then the whole medical industry, hospitals and that, you don't come out better than when you ever went in there. You only go in there because you're broken, and that's through design as well. It's like through our food. Our food's poisonous. Our water's poisonous. They're spraying. I don't see it as much here in Adelaide, but they're spraying in every other place that's populated. Any amount of people. It's really, it's so sinister, and it's and of course they've got the mainstream media, and that's why they can get away with it, because they do have the mainstream media, and people are very apathetic. People will just sit there and they'll listen to whatever whatever they're told, and I fucking believe it, and it's fucking like, It's you got to wake up. You got to realize that these people are they're masquerading as something, but they're not. They're criminals, and they're and it's, and these are people in every in every part of society, and that's religion. They get you on the religious science, so-called scientific, which is fucking just falling apart behind you, in front of your eyes. If you took half an hour to actually sort of study, to look at alternative information, not what the news are telling you. Yeah. What else? Yeah, we got the politics, health, religion, finance. Yeah, of course, finance. What they see, this is how they can do it as well. They can do it through finance, like when the Federal Reserve in 2013, when they got hold of the purse strings of the biggest economy in the world, in America, and now they've got central banks in every other country. And once they control the monetary system, and then they can bribe people, they can blackmail people, all the usual shit. And speaking of secret societies, when you have secret police like the CIA and the FBI, there is never any justice that can be done that needs to be done behind closed doors, where a honourable people with integrity and compassion can look at it and see truth for what it is. You don't do that. You do not do anything that gets done behind closed doors. You don't go to war for things that are in our interests, like Iraq, for example. We went to war for Iraq. No weapons of mass destruction. It's like 9/11 was an inside job. Pretty obvious. You know what I mean? Like, no one's going to jail. It's like I had one of my relatives trying to have trying to sort of lay shit on me about politics. It's like, oh, fucking politics. They're all, they're criminals. They're all fucking criminals. And that's and like I say, it's the mainstream media. It's but it's truth. Truth is a virtue that a civilized society should value. That's our most prized asset. Is truth. That way, then we can decide. We can decide what's fair. We can decide what's right and what's worth fighting for and what's not worth fighting for. And rather than have our best young people go and kill other people's best young people and innocent people, and they got it's fucking unbelievable. And our banks are fucking neck deep in the child sex traffic trade. And it's like, fucking come on. They don't talk about that on the mainstream media. And the thing is as well, because people are so apathetic, you're to blame. You are to blame. If you don't say something, you just sit there and turn on the fucking news while people's life savings are gone down the drain, and they're still listening to the mainstream media. That's fucking mainstream media are doing what they do, and that's what common criminals do. But they're getting their orders from the higher ups with the Godfather movement there. They're getting it from the politicians, and they're getting it from the secret bloodlines and the secret societies. So, like I said, there is no room for a secret society in our civilization. And like with the Freemasons as well, when they're out, giving the charities, which I don't know which charities they actually give to, mind you, it's self-promotion as well, and that's probably one of the oh look, you can do that on a personal level. You don't need an organisation to do it. And you have other organisations as well, non-government organisations that work in close with the Clinton Foundation, with the which I used to work for Red Cross, and you got these people work, the non-government organisations like your UNICEFs and all, fucking there's still children fucking in Africa that don't have fucking clean drinking water. It's like, fucking come on. And they're telling you you're going to build a space force? And they're, But anyway, that's Just thought I'd introduce myself, but yeah, I'm just trying to. I just want people to wake up to the fact that you're not gonna die of a virus. You got more chance of a shark eating you in the middle of the Sahara Desert than you have of dying of a virus, people. And if you believe, like after what I've just been saying, if you get the chance and you go and look and study and look at fucking any flat Earth, like John Smith Global Eye is a really good one. Eric DeBay's got some good stuff. John Thor is good. Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole by David Weiss. There's a lot of really good informed, good people that make really good content, and they get the information out there. Now, if you can, and it's not like you look on your usual fucking um, your usual list of fucking debunking, debunking flat Earth for the first fucking 500 or so fucking pages. But once it's not hard. It's not hard to find credible information. And if you spend like I don't know, fucking an hour watching that, I watched allegedly Dave Murphy's The Greatest Lie Ever Told. I think it was. I watched that for an hour. Then oh right, I realised. But if you sit with it and you have a look at it for a couple of weeks, and if you don't, and you don't have to be a scientist to fucking know, and if you don't realise, then fucking maybe you deserve to be on a spinning space ball, It's like, yeah, it's you've got the chain, people have got the chains, got the keys to the chains around our own necks, by letting these criminals fucking do what they're doing. They're breaking every human right, and every freedom that we ever took for granted. Yeah, that's gone. We have a constitution. You wouldn't fucking know it, but we have got one. Yeah, they need to be they need to be hung for their crimes. These people. And if you don't say, something about it, at least try not to get in the road of people who are willing to do something, who are willing to say something, and don't try and discourage people, because that means you may as well be on the fucking gallows with them. That's the way I see it. But yeah, sorry, I'm getting. It's just it's frustrating because it's the truth, and that's a human right that we've been denied, people, and it's it's our God-given right. But anyway, look, I'll leave it there. But I'll probably I can't think of anything else at the moment. But yeah, I hope everyone has a has a good day. But just turn your TVs off, throw them away. Television, it's just indoctrination. It's like the TV's one of the most powerful weapons that's ever been devised and used against humanity. So I'll leave it there, folks. It's nice to meet you. Bye.